Welcome back, everybody. So with this video, we'll be working on the sleeve of the DVF wrap dress from the V2000 pattern. I've already attached one sleeve to the dress, but I figured I would just do this recording on constructing the other sleeve since I did that off camera. I ran into a lot of issues. I misread the instructions and sewed the cuff on the wrong way, and so I had to take that apart and re-sew it on the correct way. And then I found out after I attached the sleeve was on the wrong side, so I had to detach and re-sew that sleeve to the right side. So there's a lot of uh, seam ripping and rethreading and resewing. So I did most of that off camera, so I could be ready to come back and do it correctly on camera. So let's get started. Our instructions say so we have our this is our cuff piece. This is our what they call the sleeve facing piece number 12. The cuff here is piece number 11, and then we have the actual sleeve itself. um I believe that the sleeve is um see, the sleeve is part number 10. um so this is one of the sleeves here. Okay, so we've already um done the ease stitch around here, and I've pulled it a little bit um, so we can at least have a starting point fit when we try to fit the sleeve into the sleeve hole of the dress. And then we'll pin and work from there. But first, we have to finish up attaching the cuff and the sleeve facing. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to pin the cuff to the lower edge of the sleeve, interface side up, placing the small dots at the underarm seam, and then we're going to baste that. And then on the instructions, this is where I messed up the first time. This is actually on the right side um, fabric, so you're pinning the cuff to the right side, this side, because on these instructions the darker shaded picture means that um, you should be on the right side of the fabric. So this is on the right side of the fabric, which we have our sleeve turned to the right side right now. So let's go ahead and let's try to find those markings. So here is our this is our underarm seam right here, and then the sleeve also has it also has a slit here that should line up with the cuff here. So we're gonna pin, it says to pin interface side up. For that, for us, this is the interface side here, and so we're going to see if we can match it here. We may actually have to flip because our cuff should be, these two end pieces here should be lining up here. So let's flip and see if we can do that. This is reason why we base, so we can kind of see what's going on here. So here's our slit here, and here's our seam, our underarm seam. And so like if we have it flipped this side, it doesn't match up. But if we flip it to this side, it does match up. So we'll flip it to this side, even though this side has the interfaces down, I guess technically facing down. So we'll go with the notches to get that lined up properly. So let's grab our pins and let's start pinning here. So first I'm going to pin near our slit here. So let's try to get that lined up. And I'm just gonna pop a pin in there. And let's just see how we're lined up on our seam. I think we need to move over just a little bit. So here's our slit. Here, here, and then here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Stick our pin in here first. Let's grab another pin. And just making sure that I'm not pinning the other side of our sleeve by accident. Just gonna put a couple pins in here. And we're just gonna bring our sleeve around, trying to line up these raw edges here the best we can. And then when we get to the end, we'll check to make sure that we're lined up with our underarm seam as the instructions say. Okay. It looks like we do have a little bit of space here. I think that space is supposed to be there. Because it'll actually be bringing it that way. I think that's correct. But we'll take a look at our other sleeve on the dress. Just gonna look at that really quickly. Okay, yeah, the space isn't as big on that one. I'm just gonna double check some of the, because we do have markings that we're supposed to see here, and they may have rubbed off. Well, I see X and an X here, kind of, but they're not necessarily lined up. But I know at least on the pattern, those notches are supposed to line up. So I think, let's put another pin here. So I think if we are lined up here, we'll see how it looks and everything, with the facing. So it seems like it'll look okay. This is gonna be the right sleeve. So if I put it on here, and my cuff will be that way, like so. Okay, and let me stick another pin here on the end. And we're just supposed to put in a base stitch. I'm going to take a quick look at the pattern. Just so we can do a sanity check. So we have our notch here for 16. This is where it's supposed to connect. And then here we have 16 again. Turn it this way. It's supposed to match. And then 16 is supposed to be a notch in that as well. All are supposed to be matched up here. And then trying to see if we have any other markings that match up. Just looking here. It doesn't seem like we do. Okay. And then I guess the small dots, I'm not quite sure exactly which small dots they're talking about in the instructions, but we have a dot here, 2 dots here. which corresponds to here. And then here's our square is there. And then here's this one. And then we got our 2 notches. And then it should be a mark here. It's hard to see though. Well, I can see it on the back side, so it should be a mark there. Okay, so we'll keep it going. I'm just gonna move these out of the way. I'm just double checking and triple checking because I don't want to have to re-sew the sleeve over again. All right, so let's go ahead. We're gonna move over to our machine so we can put in that base stitch. And then once we do the base stitch, we'll pin the spacing over the cuff. And then for that one, it says base stitch and then trim it. So let's do that. We'll go ahead and switch over to our machine. And I've already removed I removed the covering here so I could put the sleeve around here to sew. Alright, so I'm gonna see if we can fit this around, and then I'm gonna set my machine on the longest stitch because we're doing a base stitch. And I think this should fit. Just gotta make sure. Might be a little bit tight, but I think I remember getting it around there for the first sleeve. Just gotta be careful of these pins. I'm trying not to stick myself. There we go. Feels like we got on there that time. Just trying to make sure that everything is all right there. Okay. Just checking, make sure our fabric and stuff is still lined up. All right, so we've got our tails here. I'm just gonna slide my piece underneath here and make sure my thread's on top there and that thread's on the bottom, and then we're still at our 5/8, I believe. Yes, 5/8 inch. So let's do that. I'll move the camera in a little bit here. And we'll remove that first pin. Put my foot down here. And okay, we'll do, oh, I moved a little bit off of my line there. And we're not going to do a locking stitch since this is a base, so we're just going to go forward. Let me slow that down a little bit. just working our way around, doing a really long basting stitch. Not meant to be permanent. And let's see. I think I'm supposed to be at 5/8, but I'm just gonna double check. Although it's a little late now, but I just wanna jog my memory that our base, see if it says anything. Okay, just says base. So we'll just assume it's at 5/8 here. It's supposed to be at 5/8. Remove the pin there. Move that pin. Try to make sure I'm straight here. Okay. All right, so let's go back over to our table. And see how we did. Okay, so we got our base stitch in here. Okay, those are just our tails. I was gonna go ahead and trim those. Okay. Alright, so at least got that basted in there. And then now it says to, now we're gonna take our facing. The facing's gonna be turned to the wrong side. So we're gonna turn this inside out here. And then that goes over our sleeve here. And there's our notch. And it's supposed to be our finished side up here. So let's just do that. And then the side seams also supposed to, these underarm seam. So this seam is supposed to match up with that sleeve, that seam on the sleeve too. So that's another point we can kind of check as a reference there. So we're gonna go ahead and line up our notches there and pin. So there's our notches. Just gonna pull it down a little bit here. Just checking the line because it's just like 3 or 4 pieces of fabric I'm trying to line up here. In actuality, just stick a pin here. Put another here. And another here. Sleeve's getting a little twisted up here. Let's see what's going on. Just gotta pull our sleeve back through, and we gotta make sure that we're on top of our seam too. Let's go ahead and try to pin that part to make sure, because we do have like this little piece of extra fabric that's kind of on our sleeve for some reason. Just seems like things don't want to line up correctly. So we got that done, and this, maybe we just gotta try to ease into it some kind of way. We'll go ahead and pin this side to here though. Because it just looks like this, it looks like the sleeve is just bigger than the facing part. Oops. Gotta pin down. I missed a layer here. Just gonna repin that one. Try to straighten this out the best I can here. I mean, if I kind of pull it a little bit, it'll line up how it's supposed to. So we'll try to do that. Okay. Put one here as well. Move this guy over a little bit. So it's probably gonna ease itself in there. Just fine. Okay, I think we're good. And I just gotta make sure that I don't sew my cuff together here. So that's gonna be a little bit tricky. Okay, I think we're good. So we're pinned. So it says base, stitch, and trim. So I think we're just gonna, I guess we'll try to do a base and then see how everything looks. And then we'll go back and do an actual stitch. So let's go back to, our sewing machine. Okay. All right, so we're back at the sewing machine. And we're gonna try to do the same trick here and see if we can squeeze our cuff around here. Move the camera back a little bit while I get things in place, and then we'll put it back. Yeah, it may not fit on this one because this facing is actually smaller, a little bit smaller. So I might just have to do it like this, and then just work our way around. Okay, we'll do that. And just trying to make sure we're 5/8. And then this is supposed to be a base stitch here. So camera back. Okay, we're on our 5/8. I'm gonna take the pin out. Let me grab my pin cushion here. And we just gotta really be careful to try to make sure that we are not sewing on top of the sleeve, the other piece of the sleeve, the other side of the sleeve. All right, so we're just gonna do a base stitch, and then we'll go back over and do our final stitch. I'm just gonna work my way around here. And just kind of repositioning because my thing kind of got turned up a little bit when I was trying to squeeze it over there. And hopefully it didn't lose a pin. Alright, keep it going. We'll just kind of readjust as we go along, just to make sure. Just checking to see where our cuff is here. Move our pin. And we're a little off. I kind of wasn't paying attention. We're kind of like at a fourth. Let me see if I can try to get back to my 5/8. Maybe. This is going to be a little wonky. But I think it's on the inside and I can't really see it. Oh, and this is a base stitch, so I can remove it actually. All right, we're almost to the end here. Just gonna move my strings out the way there. Okay, looks pretty good. And then just gonna take a quick look here. See how we did. Just trying to look and see how things turned out. Just giving everything a once over since we're so bunched up. It's kind of hard to see what was going on exactly. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna give it a quick flip to see if it's anything crazy looking. Does it look okay? So let me flip it back in, and then we'll go ahead and we'll do our final stitch. that's actually at 5/8. And let me reset my sewing machine while I'm thinking about it. So that puts us back at our regular stitch length. Okay, I'm gonna snip some of these strings before I get going. Okay, so let's get back under our machine here. Put my tails through here. Pull those a little bit. Just checking to make sure everything's still good here. Alright. Now that those pins are out of the way, we may be able to stretch. Let's see if we can stretch it and fit it on here. I feel like we might be lucky and be able to do it. Maybe not. Still might be a little too small. Okay, so it looks promising. Alright, we'll pick a place to start. Okay, we'll start on that. Just making sure my thread out of the way on top there. Alright, and then we're supposed to be 5/8. Alright, so our foot's down, our stitch length is back to normal, and we're gonna do a couple forward, couple backwards. Speed up a little bit, give us a little bit of speed. Smoothing stuff out here. Let's see if I can get back on my 5/8. And barely can get there. There we go. Okay, and then a few backwards. And okay, lift the foot up. And let's still have a look-see at the table. And do some clipping. All right. So, all right. So we got our cuff done. or our facing sewed to our sleeve here. Looks pretty good. Just checking it. We'll flip it and see how it looks on the outside. This is the side that you're gonna be able to see. Don't necessarily care how it looks on the inside. Snip a couple long pieces there. I think I'm gonna pick this part out here. Because that's showing that's our base stitch there. So let's pick that out and clip it. Okay, and then let's see if there's anything else that's sticking out to us. I think looks pretty good. And then we'll flip it back to the inside here and try to do some trimming. First, trim all these strings for sure. So we'll trim here. And then we'll go back and trim the, let me pull this down. We'll go back and trim the seam allowance down a lot because this facing actually has to flip over on top of it. That's kind of why it's there. It's to cover the ugly parts, or the rough parts. I won't say ugly parts. The rough parts of the piece here. Our rough parts. Okay, just kind of snipping, cleaning up some of these strings. Okay. So we did our base, we did our stitch, and then now I'm gonna trim the seam allowance down here. It doesn't say to what, so just gonna trim as much as I can here without getting close to the seam. I'm just gonna trim all the way around. Okay, just kind of clean that little end up there. There we go. Take out that piece. Okay. Think we're pretty good. And then our facing kind of lines up there. The cuff doesn't necessarily line up, but I don't know what happened with that because my other one didn't line up either on my other sleeve. So I don't know, it might be something that I did or something with the pattern, possibly. Let's see, I see a base stitch I want to pick out here. That's a little wonky. Go ahead and grab that guy out of there. And grab it here too. Just trying to clean it up a little bit. Makes it look a bit more professional. Just a tiny bit. Okay. And got a little snip here. Snip there. Okay. And then it says next to turn, we're going to turn the facing to the inside. So I think I actually have to actually turn the sleeve inside out, I think. Oop, left a little piece there. Yeah, so I have to turn the sleeve inside out, and then the facing is supposed to go over the sleeve. But let me try to get my cuff straight under here. Okay. So now that we've trimmed that edge down a lot, that seam allowance down a lot, so it should be a lot easier for us to flip here. And so it says to do line stitch and I usually do that by hand. But you can also, since this is going to be underneath the cuff, I think we can also do trying to think if we can also do no, because can't. I was gonna just try to do a regular stitch to stitch this facing down, but if we do that, we're gonna stitch through the cuff, but I can pull it out this way if I pull my cuff out that way and then stitch my facing down this way. Let's see, I think that makes sense. And since we're not going to actually see this part because the cuff is going to be in the way, we can actually just I think I'm going to just put a stitch here. Run a stitch to keep this facing held down in place. So let's do that. Trying to see how I can do it. So I have to put it through the sewing machine this way, and then sew that. Okay, let's give it a try. We can always unpick it if this is a big mistake. So certainly something I've done before, so we'll just see. Just trying to get done a little bit faster rather than me hand stitching this thing all the way. Alright, so we're back over at our sewing machine here. And see. I'm gonna reset it. Grab my tails here. See, yeah, I should be able to get in here. Maybe. Let's see if I can get over far enough. It looks like I can. Alright, so I think I'm gonna just sew like right along. I'll use this stitch here as my guide since I'm covering my guide. So we'll do that. I may actually start a little bit, pull it down a little bit. Okay, so the couple forward, couple backward, and hopefully my machine will be able to turn the fabric. I'm just kind of helping it. It's a little tight. Just trying to make sure we're not getting stuck. Alright, a couple backwards. Alright, that was a lot faster than hand stitching that, but we'll see how it looks. And hopefully I won't regret it. Alright, so let's flip back over to our table and take a look. Alright, we're back at the table here. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and snip these guys here. Alright, so I'm not supposed to be able to see once the cuff is up, so let's just give it a look. Turn it to the right side because we're gonna fold. So we see it here on the sleeve, but we're gonna be folding that back, that cuff back, right? So like you can see it right here, but our cuff is actually gonna be like this. Like so. I think that works out. So we'll go ahead and press that. You can see it a little bit here, but I think I'm okay with that. It's not bad. So we'll go ahead and we'll press that and see if we can get that to stay down how we want it to stay down. It looks pretty good. Just got that little stitch there that's kind of showing, but I'm willing to make that sacrifice. I just wish I would have done it on the other cuff as well, so I wouldn't have a extra thread hanging out there. but that's all right. So we will, let's see. Gonna move our ironing board down here. And then turn our iron up. And I'm just gonna give it a little press. Just to get everything in place. And then we'll just have to do our buttons. After we attach our sleeve, then we can do our buttons. I think it's going to be one here and one there. Or maybe I'll just end up doing one. I don't know if I want to do one here and one here. One here and one there, maybe. I know I have to put one here for sure. And it says 4 buttons, so I don't know if it means 2 per side on the same side, or if it means 1 here and 1 on this side. It was not necessarily clear in the instructions, but we'll deal with that when we get to it. Okay, our iron's ready. Just gonna give it a little press here. Yeah, we're just kind of pressing that facing in the place. Okay. Got a little corner here. Let's try to get that back down. Okay, so there's our sleeve, ready to be worn, I suppose. Looks pretty good. And then throw our button on there. And so let's go ahead, we'll grab our dress, turn our iron back down, turn it off, and put that back to the side here. Let me grab the dress. And so here's our dress. And so here's the other sleeve that I did attach. So we have one sleeve already on there. Just have to do the button for that side as well. I may press my collar while I'm thinking about it, or I may do that later. We can do that later and press it down. Um, but yeah, here's the other armhole. So we have some notches here that we can match up with our inside of our sleeve. But so basically turn the dress inside out. And then we'll get this pinned and maybe sew it together as well. So we're just gonna drop our sleeve. I think it goes in, yes. Kind of drop it in through the hole here. And then you have to match, there should be an X to match up the shoulder side seam here at the top. And it is, where is it? I think this is it right here. X to X right here. So I can put our first pin there. And then our other pin we're supposed to match up. We're gonna match up our notches here. Gotta move our threads out of the way. I don't want to clip those just yet because we still might need to pull and tighten this sleeve so it can fit. And we got a matching our shoulder seam, our underarm seam is matching right here as well. So lots of matching points, which is good. And just gonna work my way around because this is supposed to ease, the sleeve is supposed to ease into the dress hole here. Yeah, so when I put the sleeve on the first time, the notches did not match up, but yet for some reason I kept going. Not sure what I was exactly thinking, but obviously it's on the wrong sleeve. The sleeve was on the wrong side because the notches didn't even match up. So it's very important to pay attention to stuff like that when you are sewing. That is a lesson learned. Trust the notches because they are 99% of the time going to be right and you are going to be wrong, whatever direction you think you maybe should be going in. Okay. Looks pretty good. Just taking my time. And working our way around, trying to get those ease pieces eased down there. They said, I watched a video back, they're like, it could take a lot of pins to get it eased in there correctly. And they're right, because the first one, the first sleeve took quite a few bit of pins. And just working my way around. And I think this one we based and then we stitch and then we trim, similar to how we did the cuff, the facing for the cuff. And I've got a couple more pins here. Okay, I think that's pretty good. See some areas where we may want to stick another pin or two in there. Like here, stick another one there. Okay, I think that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and clip these strings out of the way since I think we're good. I don't think I need to pull on them anymore to make them more or less. Probably could have gone out a little bit more. Let the ease out a little bit more. Let me fix this guy. It's supposed to be my shoulder seam there. There we go. Okay. All right. So let's we'll check the instructions. So pin sleeve and armhole, placing the large dot at the shoulder seam. We did that. Adjusted the ease, distribute evenly, and it says stitch. So we're going to stitch at our 5/8, and then it says stitch again 1/4 away from that 5/8, and then we're going to trim, press, and then turn seam towards sleeve. Okay, so let's go and head back to our wonderful sewing machine. And we're going to stitch 5/8. Tails out here. Okay. Alright, so we are doing 5/8, and then we're gonna just do a couple forward, couple backwards. We're gonna go ahead and move that pin. Alright. And you're just gonna try to twist and make sure everything is smooth under here. Take away that pin. Okay. And it's gonna try to make sure, I want to try to make sure our seam is open there before we sew it down, but it's a little too short, so we'll just go ahead and just sew over it as is. That's okay. Move that pin. And keep it going. And just trying to make sure we're nice and flat underneath there. Okay. Excuse the extra noise. This is my dog just coming in to check and see what's new. And I'm all twisted here because I got my dress going. Okay. Just trying to make sure my dress isn't, my sleeve isn't twisting here, because we got a lot of fabric over here kind of hanging out a little bit. Okay, we're almost to the other side. I see the light. Alright, we'll go back a couple stitches. Alright. Okay, did, so that is our 5/8, and so we're gonna do another stitch again. This one is gonna be I think it's set at a 4th in. So I'm gonna trim our stitches we just made, or our tails we just made from our stitches here. Then we're gonna go back and do another go round. Okay, get my camera back down here. Alright, and it says do like, we'll do it at a 4th here. So that will put us about right there. Let's get my tails situated here. So basically just running up against our 5/8 pretty much is how it looks there. Alright, so I'm gonna do a couple forward, a couple backward. Okay, and just following, using that 5/8 that we just did as kind of like a little bit of a guideline, which is nice to have. Okay, just kind of reshuffling some stuff here. Alright, and we are just about there. I'm just gonna edge over a little bit. Okay, and do a couple back. And there we have it. Should have a fully sewn in sleeve there. So we'll take a look. We'll go back to our table and see how everything looks. Okay. Alright. So here's our sleeve. Looks nice. We can take our seam ripper and can do a little bit around there to get that basting stitch out that's showing. Definitely clip that guy right here. else looks good. Our seams is matching up here. It's a little hard to see because of the pattern, but you know, I think we're good. I'm gonna grab my seam ripper here and just, well, actually, let me clip on the inside first. We'll clean it up in here, and then we'll go back on the outside and grab those guys. Okay. And then it says we can trim, but it's really not much to trim. And then we're supposed to press, let's see, supposed to turn the seam toward the sleeve. So I guess we press like this. Press, because I don't necessarily know how you press the seam open this way, but we may just leave it. But yeah, let's go ahead and clean up on the outside here, and we'll end the video once we do that, because I think I want to do a separate video to do the buttons, and then after the buttons we'll do some hemming. And then that would be it for our project, for our dress. I know it never didn't seem like we would get there, but we're there. So I'm just cleaning this up a little bit. Because this is one of our basting stitches here. I think, or it's one of our main stitches that is showing, but I think this is a base stitch. I'm gonna treat it like it's one because it's all up in here, visible. We're not supposed to be seeing it. Okay, so I'll clean that up a little bit. Just kind of snipping and picking and snipping where I need to snip. Okay, hopefully we're almost there. No, unpicking stitches is riveting entertainment, but you gotta do it to make everything look nice. Okay, I think I just probably gotta snip that guy. And then we'll take another look and see if we missed anything. Don't want to cut the dress. Do not cut the dress. Cut the string and not the dress. Okay. Alright. Just taking a look around. Got a little bit here, a little more, but I can do that off camera. We'll go ahead and just trying to see how bad it is. Yeah, I can go ahead and take care of it while we're here, because if I put it down, I might forget to do it. So we'll just take the time and do it right. And got this row here. It's very hard to see this white string, but I know it's there, so I have to take it out. Okay. I think everywhere else is pretty clean. All right. Okay, so we're gonna put my seam ripper up and clean up my strings here. All right, and it looks like we have, now our dress has 2 sleeves on it. In the next video, I'll put the dress on the mannequin so you guys can see everything, how it looks so far, and then we'll keep going and hopefully finish up in the next couple videos. All right, like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.